I sold financial services for a living. And I still blew $8,000 lowering my Chevy Tahoe in the mid-2000s on 23-inch rims that I didn't need, let alone the $5,000 in a Kenwood system that I didn't need. Now, I knew the math cold. I knew the depreciation I would experience, and I bought it anyway. See, that's the part that people tell you about being broke, the experience of like, man, I deserve this. It's not that you can't count. It's that when emotion's high, logic is low, and your money signs a receipt that your brain never approved. If money doesn't have a job, it will find a way to entertain itself. My money threw a party. Last year, that same blind spot cost this country $246 billion. Here's what should make you angry. That money didn't disappear. See, money never disappears. It moves. So $246 billion walked out of regular families' pockets last year and straight into somebody else's. The bank got its overdraft fee. The credit card company got it in interest payments. And here's the gut punch. That's interest that you should be collecting, not paying. Compound interest is the most powerful force in money. It builds somebody a fortune every single day. You've just been standing on the wrong side of it. And many of us have been handing ours over because nobody ever taught us that there are two sides of money to stand on. See, the lender got it in a rate nobody explained. And a piece went to the government in taxes that we overpaid unknowingly. Not because the system is robbing us, but because nobody taught us what the wealthy already know. And you gotta understand, our financial system is rigged. And here's the truth that'll sting. The rich don't pay less because they cheat. They pay less because they got financially literate. They learn to change how their money even comes into their life. It's not a loophole, that's education. And it's one that many of us were never handed, especially through our educational system. Your money is compounding right now, growing, working, but just not for you. It's building somebody else's wall while yours sits with a hole in it. Stop and feel that, my friends. How much of your money is out there working a full-time job for people who aren't you? See, that's illiteracy. Not, I can't read a statement. It's, my money's got a boss and it isn't me. And today, we're standing in that gap. So drop the word gap in the comment section below if you're done letting your money work for everybody else but you. Welcome to the 7-Figure Squad YouTube channel. 375,000 strong subscribers and growing. 26 years I spent in financial services. I've seen the inside of this thing most people never get to see. And I'm not talking to you from a mountaintop. I'm a man who went from broke and bankrupt at 22 years old to financially free in his 40s. No college degree, no inheritance, no rich family or network. I lost the money first, and then I learned. This whole entire channel is me handing you what the losses taught me. How? Let's get started in 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Who are we? Hey, 7-Figure Squad. Where we go? Run it up, run it up.
So let's put a number on this financial wound. According to the National Financial Educators Council, in 2025, the average American adult said they lost $948 to a lack of financial knowledge. Multiply that across the country and lands north of $246 billion in 1 year. Now here's the part that should stop your heart. That number's been dropping. In 2022, it was over $1,800 a person, then $1,500, then $1,000, now $948 per person. Now, sounds like progress, right? Now that cost per person went down because people got poorer. You can't lose $1,800 you don't have anymore. The bleed slowed down because the body ran low on blood. Yeah, that blood is money. See, that's not a recovery. That is a warning. And understand what this money is. It's not stolen in some dramatic heist. It's overdraft fees. It's credit card interest that nobody explained on the terms and conditions. It's the good deal that really wasn't. It's the policy somebody bought scared instead of smart. And it's a second SUV like I did to buy it, yet you don't need it. See, small cuts, nobody bleeds out from one cut. Families beat out from 1,000 of those financial cuts spread across 20 years, made with emotion in the financial driver's seat. See, that's the gap. And right now, in most homes in America, nobody is standing in that gap. So how many small cuts do you think your family's taken this year? Drop a number below in the comment section below. But Linda, listen, the people getting robbed the worst aren't the ones who don't know better. Watch me now. I was in this business when I bought that Chevy Tahoe 2005, 2006 truck. Sit with that. I sold this stuff. I could quote the returns. I knew financial service products and services. I knew what compound interest does over 20 years. I could have told you exactly what $8,000 becomes if you leave it alone and just let it work. And yet I dropped it in an SUV. I lowered it onto 23-inch rims, Jordans I call it, 23-inch rims, and I lowered the truck. Looks cool, right? So don't tell me illiteracy is about information. I had the information, but information didn't save me. You're probably sitting there thinking,
well, that's not me, Matt. I never blow $8,000 on rims.
Yeah, well, maybe not. But you got your version. We all do. We all got our version of what we blow our money on. It's the upgrade you didn't need. It's the lease you signed with your ego. The vacation you put on a credit card to feel like you were winning. The whole life policy you cashed out because you got scared in a down month or you listened to some other advisor that gave you wrong information. You got emotional about it. Every one of those, we made the same way I made mine. Feeling first, math never got a vote. So here's a pattern, and once you see, you can't unsee it. When emotion's high, logic is low. When logic is high, emotion is low. They sit on a seesaw, and the money always follows whichever end is up. And most of us have never once made a big money decision with logic on top. Not because we're dumb, because nobody ever taught us that the feeling is the thing you're supposed to check. See, that's illiteracy at work. It was never about the numbers, it's about who's driving when those numbers show up. Remember, emotion high, logic down, drop the word seesaw if you've ever felt that financial pull. Now, most people can admit that. They'll feel bad for a day, but yet they buy the next thing by Friday. Not us, not tonight. See, this isn't new. God wrote it down over 3,000 years ago. It says in Proverbs, like a city whose walls are broken through is a person who lacks financial control. See, that's Proverbs 25, verse 28. Now the text says person. For many of the men watching this, you're the man of the house. So tonight, it's talking to you. Read what it's actually saying. That a man with no control over himself is a city with the walls knocked down. Not a city under attack. A city that already lost because the wall's already gone. Anybody can just walk in and take what they want. It's what these banks are doing. That's a man ruled by his emotions. His gates wide open and every feeling that walks by gets to spend his money. And here's where it ties together. Ezekiel 22, verse 30. God's looking across his whole land and he says, he searched for one man to build up the wall because there's holes in the wall and stand before me in the gap on behalf of the land. You know, God said he found no one. Same picture, the wall, a gap. God's been using this image the whole time. So here's the truth I had to learn the hard way. The gap you stand in for your family, you have to stand in for yourself. I couldn't guard my kids' future while my own gate was financially hanging open. That truck that I purchased unnecessarily wasn't a spending problem. It was a breach in my own wall. And a man with a hole in his own wall can't be the wall for anybody else. So here's the harder question. Why was my financial gate open? Jesus already answered in Matthew 6, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Read it backwards and it'll wreck you. Check this out. Your money doesn't drift. It flows to whatever you love the most. See, I bought that truck because in that season, I loved looking like I was a G. I made it more about what I looked like more than I loved building something that would actually last. My money just followed my heart to the wrong altar. So whatever you prioritize, that's where your money goes. Every stinking time. So if you want to know what you actually worship, don't listen to what you say. Look at where your money goes. If this is landing on you right now, hit that like button. It tells me to keep making videos and episodes like this. So what's the fix? It's not cut the Starbucks and the Netflix because scripture never says kill your emotions. A father who buys protection for his family out of love is feeling something real and he's dead right to. So the fix is governance. You let logic hold the gate and then the feeling has to come through the gate to spend anything. Systems and processes of how to make those types of decisions, right? Jesus said it plain in Luke 14 that before you build a tower, sit down and count the cost. Count first, then build second. See, that's logic on top on purpose from the mouth of Christ. In Proverbs 21 verse 5, the plans of the diligent surely lead to profit, but the hasty run to poverty. Haste is emotion. Diligence is logic. The whole outcome for your family is sitting right there in one verse. So where's the breach in your financial wall? Drop the word wall and say, man, I'm rebuilding this. See, that's the doctrine of this whole entire series. Now here's the assignment. Because knowing this, it's because you know something, doesn't mean you actually need to do it. And doing nothing is just a smarter way to lose. So what do you do with all this? I'll give you one move you can make tonight. Then I'm going to tell you the truth about the rest. Here's the one move. Give every dollar you earn a job before the month starts. Not a budget you abandon by the 8th, a job. Every dollar assigned, like rent, groceries, savings, protection, giving, before the emotion shows up. Because if money doesn't have a job, an assignment, it's going to find a way to entertain itself. Assigned money can't throw a party. Then you reconcile it. Go back and look at where your money actually went last month. Go through your bank statements. Go through Rocket Money. And by the way, they're not an endorsement of, it's not an endorsement of that product. Not where you thought your money went, but where it actually went. Because remember what Jesus said, where your treasure is, your heart follows. So that statement isn't just a budget. It's a confession. I show you what you've been prioritizing more honestly than you ever said out loud. Now, when you look, one or two things happen. You like what you see, or you don't like what you see. If you don't, that's not a failure. You just found out the breach. You found out the hole in your own financial wall. And transforming what you see, brick by brick, which is decision by decision, that's the work that starts. But you got to look first. Most people never look. They want to avoid it because deep down, they already know. So here's the truth about the rest. The reason you keep losing money isn't that you don't know the next tactic. You've heard the tactics, budget and save and invest. You can reconcile and recite them in your sleep. Everybody says it. Knowing them never saved you, but it never saved me either. I knew every one of them the day I lowered that truck. The gap was never information. It was a wall you never built and a man you never became. And you don't build that wall alone. You don't build it from a YouTube video. You build it with counsel, with a system that increases logic, with people who've already stood in the gap and won. I think about a couple that we've been working with. They just recently crossed a promotion and they're first generation cash flow millionaires. Proud of them. Cash flow, not net worth on paper. Nobody handed them a blueprint either. They were both individually teen parents. We were just with them in Atlanta this past weekend. Fidelity and Guarantee, one of the insurance companies we do business with, flew a group of us out for the World Cup match. Standing in that stadium, celebrating a promotion they earned, doing exactly what real stewardship looks like. Governing the money instead of letting it govern them. Now, they didn't get that from a video. They built it inside a system, a culture, an environment, in one disciplined decision at a time. See, that's the whole point. This isn't a gift some people are born with. It's a wall you build. The Swazzos built theirs. I rebuilt mine after that truck taught me. And what you do next is the only thing that matters. Every dollar gets a job. Drop the word job when you've assigned yours. So here's the door. If everything in you just said, I'm tired of losing money, I can't even see leave. If you're ready to stop being the city with the broken wall and start being the man who stands in the gap, there's a place for that. Go to my website, moneysmartmovement.com. That's the door. Walk through it. That's where we take people who are done watching, now ready to build. Now, if you got value from this episode, please hit like, smash that like button. If you haven't already, hit subscribe, hit notifications, be alerted next time we upload our next episode. Please drop your biggest takeaways in the comment section below. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Until we meet again, continue to live smart, continue to love smart, and be money smart today.